Hey, Connectors. Today we have Alex, the founder of RugDollz, with us, and he was so gracious to give us his time and come on for this interview. So, hey, Alex, how are you doing, man?
Hi, Ritter. I'm looking forward to this interview. Great to be here. And hello, everybody. Welcome to our little RugDollz and KOINectIt chat.
Thank you so much, and welcome everybody. Before we get into the questions, for some Connectors who might not be familiar with your project, can you give us a brief rundown of RugDollz and everything you guys are doing?
Of course. So, RugDollz is a project which brings value and utility back to all of your rugged Ethereum NFTs. We are striving to do this by delving into the GameFi part of crypto. Not only that, we are also doing lots of raffles and different things that you can actually utilize your rugged NFTs, or then all that money that you've thrown down the drain or you've believed in bad actors, you can now use them for something good rather than just letting them fester in your hidden folders. That's a very small part of what we do. There's a lot more to it, which we'll tell you more about as the interview progresses.
Perfect, and thank you so much. Hearing about that you guys are focusing on this, very, very important utility because there are so many NFTs that were rugged, unfortunately, and you guys are bringing utility and value back to those. So that's amazing to hear. And your community definitely does enjoy that. I see them all over Twitter. Before we get into the project and more details about that, we'd love to learn a little bit more about you. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself, your life before Web3, and how your journey in the Web3 space began?
Yes, definitely. So in 2019, I had absolutely no idea what crypto was or NFTs. I was a keen traveler. I was actually backpacking across Asia, Southeast Asia. I spent 7, 8 months over there. Then after that, I jumped on my motorbike, visited every country in Europe, did a 25,000-mile trip, and then had to come back to the UK. So I came back. I actually have a career previously before crypto and NFTs in the motor industry. I started as a motor vehicle technician. I worked my way up. I ended up becoming a workshop manager. And then I ended up working in a very luxurious classic car restoration centre, which I was managing multiple departments, including body panel, paint, upholstery, mechanics. And I was basically the workshop manager, and I had to run the whole centre. Some of the projects that we worked on included a car called the Aston Martin Bulldog, if you want to Google that. It's a one-of-one Aston Martin. I think it's worth about 10 million quid that we worked on. They restored that. And then I thought I really missed the traveling aspect of it. And then I got introduced by a friend into crypto. And this was when Shiba was pretty much taken off, probably a lot of people. So I actually started in the coin side, the meme coin side, like everyone probably does. And from there, I just get involved a bit more. You check more out. And then I started looking, because I'm a big gamer at heart, and I started finding these NFT projects which were into gaming. So I was like, oh, brilliant. I really love the idea of that. So I started getting involved in more NFT projects. And as time goes by, I realized, hold on a minute, why do all these projects keep rugging? Why do all the founders keep running off with people's money? Why do they keep disappearing? So I was like, oh, this is a pain in the ass. So anyway, carried on going. And eventually I got to a project called Voodoo Dolls, it was called. Probably everyone's heard this story. It's probably the last NFT project I was a member of. And they rugged. And I thought, you know what, I could actually try and take this project over and try and make something of it, because I like the art that the founders that run off had made. And to no avail, they ghosted like most people do when they rug. So after this, I thought, you know what, I'll use my knowledge and experience that I have in computers, because before motor vehicle, I did studying in computers. Actually, way back when, I was quite big into computers. I still am. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna create my own project that tries to counter this rug problem, because it's happening every single day that you hear. You're on X, you go, oh, this project's rugged, oh, that project's rugged. I took the idea of the name of Voodoo Dolls, and I actually turned it into my own and created my own project called RugDollz, because I put the rug part of it and the dolls, and that's where the name RugDollz and my project came. So I spoke to the community in the Voodoo Dolls Discord, and I said, listen, guys, I'm going to create my own Discord. Who wants to come with me? Let's create our own project that's going to do this. And we created a Discord. This was in 2022, November 20, it was probably before that, probably September time, 2022. And we decided to make it, and we launched on October 31st, 2022. And funny enough, the developer, the smart contract developer that we employed to launch our first OG collection, he actually did us a really poor contract. And it was I don't know much about contracts, but an ER721 contract, and there's each 721A contract. Now, the 721 is not optimized for multiple minting. So when we launched and people wanted to mint and they want to mint 10, it basically stacked the gas. So instead of just like a $5 transaction, it ended up being $50 to mint 10. So I was like, oh my God. So we ended up having to cancel that mint straight away. And I learned how to deploy a smart contract overnight. And I deployed our own first OG contracts with Solidity for RugDollz. And I said that was how it started. So going back to myself, like I say, I started as a normal holder, like everybody else. It was I had a background as a motor vehicle technician. Because I love traveling, I wanted to find something that I could work from a computer, because I can't fix cars on a computer, or I can't manage a workshop from a computer. I wanted to find a career which I could progress in the digital world. And I think I found my calling with NFTs and crypto in the blockchain space. And that's how I morphed into a founder.
Wow. Yeah.
Bit of a story for you.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I'm so glad to hear that. It's a very relatable story. Just like you mentioned, you started off with meme coins, and before you got into Web3, you had no clue about them. And I think that's what many of the listeners, and even I myself, that's how our journey started. Either if we got introduced by meme coins or by NFTs or whatever it was. And like you said, you started off as a holder, and then obviously you saw a problem. And then I think it's perfect that you saw a problem of all these projects rugging, like you mentioned, Voodoo Dolls and the other projects you were a part of, and then you took it upon yourself to actually solve that problem. And then you created RugDollz. And yeah, it's amazing to hear that even when you're facing issues, like you mentioned with the contract, you don't sorrow about it or anything like that. You actually come up with a solution. And in this case, you actually learned how to make a whole contract yourself, which is amazing. And that's that. I can't believe how you're able to do it just overnight, but obviously it's successful and you guys are here now, fully strong. And I think it's almost been 2 years. So that's amazing. Many projects, they're not even able to pass 1 year, and you guys are still here kicking, completely alive with a thriving community.
The funny thing is, we launched when I was on holiday. We were actually holiday, me and my family, in Spain. And I was sitting there at 12 o'clock at night, ready to press the launch button, clicked it, and then I was up till 7 o'clock in the morning because I thought it'd only be a 5-minute process. I thought, that's it, launch it, everyone gets their NFTs, I'll go to bed, wake up, and then sort it out. No, I wasn't. I ruined that holiday.
Wow.
But it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
worth it.
Definitely, definitely. You're still here and you're still an amazing founder, so it definitely was worth it. And that's great. So yeah, thank you so much for telling us about your Web3 journey and also about your career and all that before Web3. Obviously, you've already told us about when you decided, which was in September. And then also, was Voodoo Dolls your inspiration for your art completely, or was there other inspiration also?
I'd probably say it was a part of it, probably maybe 30-40%. We started off because we thought dolls are like a relatable. We didn't want another animal, first of all, because everyone was doing animals at the time.
Yeah.
We wanted to do something which was like that people relate to, which is like a comfort item, which could be a doll. And then we added the ears to the RugDollz because I know I said we didn't want an animal, but market research shows that people relate to an animal looking figurine rather than just a doll with no ears. So I wanted to add the ears to it as well. And that's how we come along. And there was quite a lot of, I didn't actually I designed the art, but I got an artist. We had an artist at the time in Team House, artist which designed it all for us. And sadly, he's no longer with us anymore. He was from Brazil and he ended up getting, God, what's it called now? He got a disease. I can't remember what it's called now. But anyway, he ended up leaving us. Like I say, we got other artists on board anyway. But that's why we did the art, because we just love the idea of it being stitched up. Because say everyone in the Web3 space, they're like victims or survivors, I'd say. Better saying survivors. And the stitching's like where they patched themselves up after being rugged. So I love the concept of that.
That's amazing. Yeah. And yeah, the fact that you put so much thought into actually your art and with the stitching and all that, and people surviving. And again, that really does connect with you guys and your name, RugDollz, and everything, your mission and all that. I'm really glad to hear that. How was your project, RugDollz, funded before minting? Because obviously there are some costs that come to that. And then post mint, How are you guys? Obviously, you guys are alive and fully kicking with a thriving community 2 years after the mint. How are you guys managing the costs post-mint? And is the current model, which you're generating revenue from, do you think that's a sustainable model for you guys?
So when we first started, like I said, we put the community together from a different project. Like I said, RugDollz wasn't a takeover, it was built from the ground up. But the community members that I contacted from the Voodoo Dolls, we basically put our own money in to basically fund like the art and the creation of the contract, which I ended up doing myself anyway. And we ended up funding it ourselves, which then further on down the line, I sent them RugDollz as a reward saying thank you. So, like I say, I was the main person that was basically organising, like I did in my previous job. I organised it all and orchestrated it all. So they gave me the money. I got it all set up and organised, and then I refunded them back. They were basically the original investors. Okay. Mm. And from there to make it sustainable. So if you basically have to fast forward for when we did the mint. So we did the first mint for the OGs, which is a 5555 collection. And that I've always wanted to do a 3D collection because, like I say, I'm into gamification and I wanted something, an asset, which one holders can then have. And basically they can use it and have their own FBX files so they can animate it themselves, or they can use it in a game. Because I love that sort of side of crypto where you can have your own assets. So we used the money from the mint, the 555 collection, the OG collection, to fund the 3D collection. Like I say, it's not cheap, a 3D collection. It's not, everyone thinks, oh, it's a cheap. It cost us nearly $12,000 to do the 3D collection to get it perfectly how we wanted it. Wow. So we got that. We also put a set aside, here's where we also had to adapt and overcome. We got promised a metaverse with another project called Zombie Social Club. Funny enough, on the OG collection, you might see a headband which says ZSC, Zombie Social Club. They actually rugged us and run off with our money when we paid them to do a metaverse.
Oh my God.
That was another. So that was 1.6 Ethereum, which we paid them to do. And the funny thing is, we were quite good friends with them. So it shows you can't trust anyone because I was quite friendly with them for a long time. And in their project, I was the biggest holder. So we did that. And then also we put money aside for a staking utility. Now, not the staking utility you guys know now. It was an old one. And again, they rugged us. They rugged us as well. So we had to use what limited funds we had to carry on pushing the project, which was, like I say, after being rugged for twice ourselves, which we're supposed to be combating. It was a challenge, but like I say, we managed to keep thriving and kept overcoming. So we got the 3D collection, which was brilliant. And we managed to put a good incentive for the OG collection to sell it by saying, first of all, the first incentive was we minted 3,800 public mint of the first collection, okay? Which basically gave us a couple of thousand left. We invited all the people who minted to send in their rugged NFTs. There was 1,000 that we basically reserved for the people that minted. And we said, guys, if you send us your rugged NFTs, we'll send you a free OG RugDoll. So they did that. So that was brilliant. So basically, we swapped a rugged NFT back for an NFT worth 0.03 at the time. So it was quite a lot of value at the time, like 2 years ago. It was like giving about $40,000 in NFT value back to the holders, which was brilliant. The second incentive we had was anyone who held a token ID below 3,800 of the OG collection got a free mint of the 3D collection. So this helped us incentivize and push minting out the first collection. So we've actually minted out the second collection now, and people are on the stage of minting their free NFTs from the previous collection. So that's brilliant. So sustainability, which you talk about, we finally got a staking platform. We found a developer which we could trust now, finally. And he built us basically a staking economy. I won't say a platform, I'll say he built us a staking economy to how we tailored it to find a way how to bring value back to rug survivors, but we're also making the project sustainable. And to do that, we have a staking platform which you can stake all your Ethereum rugged NFTs, and basically you accumulate rugged tokens, which is an ERC20 token. Now, it's gasless, it's all off chain, the platform. So basically everything's done off chain, so you don't have to pay any gas fees to stake. It's open to everyone. We made sure everyone can use it, not just a holder of RugDollz, but everyone in the Web3 space, because we identify that not everyone wants to be a holder to benefit from rugged NFTs. We want everyone who's been rugged to get something back. And the main purpose of that is to bring confidence back to our home, our space in Web3. The more people that say I've been rugged, but at least I can get something back for it, there's hope. So I'll stay in the space, because a lot of people I know from the 2 years of being in the space, or 3 years, people they'll get rugged and they'll leave. They'll go, I've had enough of this. I've been rugged. What's the point? I'd rather put my money I'd rather go down the bookies or the casino and spend my money there, where we want to try and get people to retain them. The whole Web3 space, not just RugDollz. We open that for everyone. Imagine you've got 50 rugged NFTs. You come to us, you go onto the platform, simple process, connect wallet, stake wallet. And how it works is there's a database in the back end of rugged projects, of contracts. If you have a rugged project that is not on the database, you just come to me and say, Alex, I've got this one, can you add it? And I'll vet it first, make sure it is a rugged project, and I'll add it. We've got 2,000 projects now added to our database. Then when you press the stake button, it will then check your wallet. Every hour it'll run a script which will check your wallet. It'll check the database and cross-reference. If you've got any of the NFTs, it will then start accumulating the rugs, which is an ERC20 token. So everyone's open to staking the rugged NFTs. Everyone's got this opportunity to make money from the rugged NFTs. Once you've got the token, you can claim it. Now, this is where the sustainability, which you asked about at the start, comes in. There's a very small claim fee, which I think it works out to about $10 to claim your tokens. $5 goes to the dev who's built our staking project, platform, because obviously he's done all the work. Because we haven't paid him anything up front. He's just done this and then said, I'll just take a cut of the claim fees. And then $5 goes back to RugDollz. And that's what we use to then keep the project sustainable. Now, with them tokens that you've just now got in your wallet, because it's an ERC20 token, you're probably thinking, what do you do with them? Two options. You can either A, convert them in our Discord for e-rugs, we call it. We utilize the drip bot for raffles. And then you can enter raffles every month. Rugs holders, people who've got rugs, or make this token, and then they can enter raffles and potentially win higher value NFTs, which is bringing value back to your rugged NFTs. The second option, which we've been developing recently, is you can actually go to the marketplace. We've got a custom marketplace. It's a project called Snag Solutions. If anyone's watching this and you want your own custom marketplace, it's a DIY platform and it's absolutely fantastic. I can't sing the praises high enough. We've got a marketplace there, and you can actually buy NFTs in rugs. Now, we're building a game at the minute called RugDollz World. You might have seen it on RX, and it's got full NFT integration. We've got a racing game, we've got a shooting game, and we've got a world treasure game where you basically going to have sidekicks and pets. You can buy them from our marketplace. So if you go back to the start for the process, you've got rugged NFTs, Ritter. You got 50. You've staked them with us for free. You've accumulated 500,000 of these rugs. You claim it for $10. You go to our marketplace. If you're a gamer, you buy the NFTs, you sell them all for $40, $50 each. You say you buy 10 and sell them you can relist them again then on OpenSea or Magic Eden. You're then basically turning that $10 claim fee into potentially more money. And that's how that's basically the formula of turning your rugged NFTs back into Ethereum. And that's how we keep the project sustainable, because of that claim fee. Because we get a constant supply of people claiming, which then gets accumulated. And then we use it for two uses. We use it like I said at the start, we've got 3 staking platforms. We've got the Rugs one, which I've told you about. Our second platform is an RLBZ platform. So we've got 2 tokens. We've got the Rugs token, which is our utility token. Our second token is our RLBZ token, which is paired with Ethereum. It's on chain. So you can actually buy or sell it on Uniswap. Now, we set the second staking platform for all our OG holders and our 3D holders to passively earn this token daily. So you buy an NFT and you can basically passively earn it. Now, again, there's a little small claim fee again. On each of our 3 staking platforms, there is a claim fee every time, which again, helps us sustain the project. We use these claim fees then. We actually let that one sit there and just save up for a rainy day for like emergency uses for people claiming their RLBZ. Like I say, the Rugs token, we accumulate that, and every month it gets us about, I think it'd probably say about half an Ethereum a month with people claiming, which isn't too bad. We use that then to sweep projects NFTs, right? We don't use that for buybacks. We actually use that for sweeping NFTs and showing support in the space. And what we do with them NFTs is, one, we use them for the raffles, which I mentioned previously, or two, that brings me to the third staking platform. That RLBZ that you've just now claimed with your OG and your NFT, so your OGs and your 3Ds,
3D.
and you
Yeah.
claim that RLBZ, you can stake that token, which gives you a claim every month. If you hold 1 billion token, you can claim for our NFT pool. Now, people love that. It's like hotcakes. They go like hotcakes. What happens is, you say you've got 1 billion RLBZ in your wallet, you stake it again, and then you can then every month you'll get one claim from the NFT pool, which is completely random, and that's going to have, we've got 300 NFTs in there, and it pops out a random NFT. We've put plagues in there. We've put lazy lions. Someone's just pulled a kid called Beast out 2 days ago with floor price 0.2. And it's just a fun way of people how to, it's a nice system. But if you put it on paper, you can see how it's all cycles into each other. So everyone is winning. The holders are winning. The people who have been rugged are winning. And our project's winning because we're getting the fees, which then, like I say, we get the claim fees from the people pulling out the staking platform. And then we use that for buybacks for the RLBZ, which then goes back to holders. So you can see how it cycles. It sounds complicated when I'm talking about it, but honestly, when you get into it, it's not. And that's how, so that answers the sustainability question. Like I say, it's not simple because I could just say, yeah, we just do a mint every 6 months and that's how we make our money and that's it. But we don't want that. We don't want to just be one of these projects that, oh, we mint and then 6 months down the line, oh, guess what, guys? Easter collection's coming out. Guess what, guys? Christmas. And we don't want to be that. We want to keep our 3 collections sacred and then not make money, but find a way how to make it sustainable by using gamification, helping rug survivors, raffles, and the staking pool. So hopefully, I'm sorry if I've blown your mind, but that's hopefully how it basically explains our whole ecosystem of sustainability within RugDollz. And not only that, just on the back of that, we've also got a merchandise store. So we sell our merch. We've actually sold quite a lot actually over the 2 years. I think we've done about $5,000 in revenue, possibly. Oh. I can't remember what the thing, which is it's tiny for a store, but when it's just a side thing, it's not that bad. And we've got, like, say, I'll probably say we've got about 200 holders wearing our merchandise. Wow. And we've just released the RugDollz plushies, which I don't know if you've seen them. And we've released them, and they're a limited edition. We've released 100 so far because there's 10 RugDollz characters. We're doing 100 of each one, different profession. They're also helping sustain us as well. We're trying to delve into real world assets also. We've got a finger in each of the pies, as they say.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I'm drinking my tea now.
Yeah, no worries. That's fantastic. And like you said, it with all these different words and stuff. So if someone is new to NFTs, it might be a bit complex for them. But I think for many of the listeners and also for myself, we're familiar with these terms. I completely understand your whole system now, and that was a very great brief rundown. And yeah, it's really nice to hear that you guys are really focused on maintaining sustainability. And like you mentioned, not only minting every 6 months or doing it for this new season, and because that there's obviously a lot of different opinions, but at the end of the day, what it probably does is just extracts from your current community rather than rewarding them. And the system you guys have, it seems like it really does reward them with your 2 different tokens and your raffles and your NFT pool, which is again a very interesting and rewarding idea. And then it's great to see you guys are again branching out, like you mentioned, with your merch store and other real world assets with your plushies and all those things. So that's fantastic. That's amazing.
I told you how many rewards we've given out so far. I'll give you a quick list. We've got, off the top of my head, we gave 1,000 NFTs at the start, which were worth 0.03 at the time. We've given 9 Ethereum away in minting rewards. So we had checkpoints, and that's totaled 9 Ethereum. The RLBZ that we give back to our holders is now topped 3.5 Ethereum we've given back. And we've also just airdropped everyone about a month ago the race car called a Celestial Star, which is basically a game asset for our game. And they're worth, I'd say they're worth about 0.03, and we airdropped 1,000 of them. And like I say, and the raffles, I can't even tell you how many NFTs we've given away in raffles. It's probably in the thousands. But we love it. It's having fun. The NFT space is having fun, but also innovating, pushing forward, and finding ways to, like, 1, bring it to the mainstream, and 2, just make it just a place for a getaway. Some people like to go to the space for a getaway. People have busy in real life jobs or in real life. Sometimes they go for a bit of stress relief, don't they? They come, it's like a yoga retreat for some people.
Exactly.
But no, that's
Yeah.
what we want to do in RugDollz. We want to make it like that, really community-focused project. So that's what we strive to do.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And yeah, I think you guys are, very well aligned with your mission, and what you guys are trying to do is help the people who have been rugged and reward them for their rugged NFTs. And you guys are doing it in such a unique way. And it seems to be working extremely well for you guys. And that's amazing. And I'm super,
Yeah.
super glad to hear that. Just one follow-up question. So actually two. So let's just, like you mentioned, you have so far in your backend database, you have around 2,000 NFTs, like rugged NFTs that you guys give your token for. If you have this number at the top of your mind, do you have an estimate for the actual number of NFTs that people have staked which are earning the tokens?
Yeah, in fact, I can tell you straight away, we have got 108,826
Wow.
NFTs staked with us right now. So 109,000 NFTs. Now, I don't know if that makes us the biggest staking platform in NFTs. It could do, I don't know, but we've got
That could
109,000
be.
NFTs.
Wow,
Now
wow, wow.
that it sounds like a lot, but it's only the tip of the iceberg. There's actually, I think I've asked ChatGPT, and I think I said how many rugged NFT projects is there, and I'm sure it said there's like 40,000 projects that have rugged since 2021. And it
Hmm.
also said that that would mean there's about 20 million NFTs that have been rugged
Wow.
NFTs out there. So 100,000. Our target for hopefully I targeted for the end of this year 150,000 rugs states, but like I say, we've got hit 110. I'm happy with that. I'm trying to push to get 150 in the last 3 months. If we can get
Hmm.
that, it'd be absolutely fantastic because I use that as my KPI. Like I use it as
Definitely.
if I get people in business terms, like it's good that we're giving back to 150,000 people, but to RugDollz, it means that we're getting more claims, which means I can
Hmm.
carry on growing the project. So that's before you mentioned, oh, it sounds complex and everything. What we do for new holders who come to us, we always say state your rugs first. That's the first thing we say. We don't go, oh, you can do this, you can do that, you can do this. We go, just state your rugs, no rush.
Exactly.
Make sure you're doing that first. And then once they started doing that, then we've got a lot of literature in the Discord and on X. I've made video guides. I think if you look in there, I think I've got about 5, 6 video guides in there where I actually calmly explain to them how they can stake the rugged NFTs, how they can access these different things. Because, like you say, it is complex, and some people do find it difficult to just, if you vomit all over them with all this information, they're just like, whoa, I'm out of here. So
Yeah.
you have to start simple, that which we do.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's amazing that you have already considered the fact that keeping things simple is extremely important, especially for people who are new to the space or maybe who are new to all this staking. And it's great that you don't overwhelm them with all this information. You just simply just tell them, just give them one step, which is just to stake their rugged NFTs. And then obviously then as they get more used to it, then they can refer to all your literature and your videos.
And then they find that each other staking platform, they see that as a bonus.
Yeah.
So that we tell them about the rugs, and they go, "Wow, you can stake your rugged NFTs, and you can get this back from yeah, yeah." And then later next week, oh, I've just found out you can stake your OG in it. I can do this. That's amazing. And then they'll
Yeah.
find out that they can stake the tokens and get a free claim every month of an NFT claim. So it's great because it's not one. It helps retention because it helps retain holders because they're finding out slowly these different things. Two, it's quite an
Mhm.
interesting system, so they like to learn about it. And three, it's a fast-moving space, the Web3 space. So you do have to find retention. Some projects that people will come, you'll notice people will come in, they'll say hi for a week, and then they'll disappear because something else has caught their eye. You want to try and find a way to retain them, to keep them. So that's how we do it. We do it in stages and steps.
That's great. That's amazing. So yeah, thank you so much for that amazing rundown of your project. And sorry, just one more follow-up question. Yeah, you mentioned you have your OG project and then your 3D project. And then I've also seen RugDollz Social, right? That's another project.
Yes. So we have 3 collections. Like you said, we've got the
Mhm.
OG collection, which is a 5555 collection. The
Yeah.
utility of that is you can stake it for the RLBZ. There's going to be another utility of that is it actually gets, like I mentioned, we've got a game coming out. Well, it is out. You can play it now. But we have exclusive items of the game. For example, that celestial cart, which I was telling you about, everyone
Mhm.
who held an OG got that for free. They got an airdrop of it for free. So OG holders will get. We're actually developing a new collection called the Ruglins, which is like sidekick in the game. And there's a celestial Ruglin, which is then going to be given to all the OG holders. So that's
Wow.
one utility. So you're getting value back just holding OGs. The second say that you can stake it for RLBZ. You can use them for your profile picture in the game. So when you go in the game, you go in your profile tab, and it'll show all your NFTs that you're holding RugDollz. You can use it as your persona. It also gives you access to our raffles because we have tiered raffles, like I mentioned. So that's basically to help. So you didn't want someone coming in with loads of rugs and only hold one RugDoll, and someone with 100 RugDolls that they've got with 2 rugs, because it's not fair. Because the person with most rugs are going to win it. So we tiered it to try and make it fair for everyone. So that's the utility of the OG. The 3D, like I say, is it unlocks your game characters in the game, your profile picture, and you can also stake them for RLBZ too. And again, that goes towards your total for the tiers to access different raffles. Like they say, the more you hold, the better raffles you can access. And then the social collection, which you mentioned, that's got 2 utilities. You can actually stake them for rugs. So if you came to our project and you went, Alex, I've got no rugs, I've been lucky, I've got no rugged NFTs, but I still want to participate in your system. I want to buy these NFTs from your marketplace. I can't accumulate rugs. That's where the socials come in. You can stake them, and they earn 60 rugs a day per NFT, where a rugged NFT only earns 3 a day. Wow. So you earn a lot more holding the socials. Now, like I say, the socials are the dark horse because the lowest price at the minute, but you can actually accumulate the rugs faster and buy the items from the marketplace, which you can then sell them, because we're making the holders basically become the suppliers of our game assets. So rather than going, us as RugDollz, us going, everyone, we're going to release the ruglins, it's 0.2 watt a mint, go on, off you can go mint them. Rather than doing that, we've basically gone to the community and said, guys, you are now the people who are supplying the ruglins. Buy them with your rugs that you're accumulating for free, or you're claiming for $10. Go buy as many. We always say, make sure you accumulate as many as you can, because if deadline to claim them, you can claim them whenever you want. So you can basically leave it for 6 months, have a million rugs, and then claim them with the 1 fee. Go into the marketplace, buy loads of NFTs, throw them all on OpenSea, and hopefully make some money. We want you guys, the holders, to become the suppliers of our game assets, and we're just happy to take in the small fee, which helps us carry on building these cool things, where you guys can then maximize your investment or your money by using this process. So that's the socials. Like I say, they're a bit of a dark horse, because I don't think anyone's clicked on yet that they can actually become quite with our game. So once our game's built, which is basically in the next, I think I'm just waiting for the last build, and we're going to continue adding to the build, but I'm going to be approaching game platforms, launch platforms like Hyperplay, Seedify, Immutable, all these different game launch platforms. And if we get our game on there, we're going to bring a lot more people in. So it'll bring a lot more people to the table. That's the social collection. And there's another little utility that you get. Each social hold a hand trait. They've got a spanner, a frying pan, all different things. That unlocks rooms in the Discord. We've got secret rooms called the RugDollz Social Club. Now, my idea, hopefully when we get a little bit bigger, is that people are free to advertise their businesses, online businesses. So if you've got, imagine you've got an online cookery class or something, and you get a RugDollz social with a frying pan, you can then advertise what you sell or what you offer in there. So it's like a nice little directory for people to, it's like a community thing. It's to get the community closer, but then they can find what they want by holding these the RugDollz socials. So and again, we also hold little events as well. If we do like a sporting event, you get extra rewards if you're holding a RugDollz social with a trophy, because it's a sports RugDoll. So different things like that. It's more of a fun collection, and we've never minted that either. We've never done a mint with that. We've basically used it for our merchandise store. We give it away as a free gift. So if you buy a hoodie from us, you'll get an email, and the email say, thank you for buying a hoodie from RugDollz. You are now entitled to 1 free social. And then it'll tell you how to create a MetaMask wallet, in case someone who's not into Web3. It helps the onboarding process. And then it tells them how to make a wallet, and then how to find us and how to claim your RugDoll, which will then airdrop to your new wallet. Or if you've got an existing wallet, we airdrop it. So it's a little bit of an onboarding process with the RugDollz socials as well. So it's all meticulously thought about each different step, as you can see.
Definitely. Yeah, and you phrased it perfectly. I was just going to say, it's very meticulously thought out, and you have 3 different collections, but it's not like you guys are diluting or anything, because they all have separate utilities and their own purpose. Like the OG is obviously the OG, they earn the tokens, and then you get future airdrops. The 3D is for the game and targeted at that. And obviously they also earn some tokens. And the social, like you mentioned, that's related to the merchandise, the social aspect, and obviously that gets that extra amount of tokens for those who are fortunate enough to not have any rugged NFTs. So that's amazing. And I was just going to ask you for that, for a brief on each of the projects. And that's fantastic. That's great.
Yeah, the RLBZ token is basically that platform is used as a revenue share. If to simplify it, it's used as like a revenue share model. Like you say, you're holding the OGs and the 3Ds. How we get that RLBZ to the holders is we buy it back. We haven't got an unlimited supply. It's however well the project does and how much we make that month. And then at the end of the month, or we don't try and do it at the end of the month because obviously people will be waiting and they'll be able to do the trades. So we don't do that, but we randomly buy it back and then we put it into a pool, which then gets distributed to the holders. So it's a revenue share platform. So the better the game does and the better people are staking off the rugs and the more people we bring in and help it, the more people we help means the more people that get rewarded in OGs and 3Ds because obviously they'll be doing more claims. So it's good. It's a good way to do it.
That's great. That's super, super interesting. And I'm sure the listeners are really enjoying learning so much about RugDollz and everything you guys are up to. So that's fantastic. So yeah, let's maybe shift a little bit now to the more general market and the NFT space. And let's get some of your opinions on the NFT space. Obviously, like you mentioned, you've been in this space for a few years now, and you've been a community member to a holder to obviously now a founder. So you have a lot of information and knowledge that you can give to the viewers and the listeners. So what do you think? So obviously the market has its ups and downs, and I think we could agree that the NFT market in particular is currently like at a bear market or maybe just coming out of a bear market. So what do you think are the biggest challenges in the current NFT space? And firstly, particularly for creators, and then you can also give another perspective if you have as a community member or as a holder.
Yes, of course. So yes, I think you're right. I think the NFT, I don't think we are in a bear market of NFTs, but I think we've got to remember how crypto works. It works in cycles, doesn't it? So again, Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the stable coins up here, then altcoins and then NFTs. So we just have to be patient and wait for it to trickle down because, like I say, since it's been happening, it's always the same way. And people are all bearish on X, going, oh, bloody hell, NFTs, and then we're dead, we're back, blah, 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 blah. It's just a cycle. You just have to ride it out and wait, and we'll get our time again. It's coming up. I think it's coming close. You can see it slowly coming up. I think with the advancement of layer 2s, Solana and Base, I think it's taken the spotlight a little bit off Ethereum because there's so many options. Basically, you're diluting the NFT space, aren't you, with all these different options? But I still think Ethereum will still be classed as the prestigious chain because one, I think layer 2, when it's got no transactions, it's quite a fun chain. Anyone can do it. You can be of any age, of any experience. You just go in there, throw your money in, take it out. Don't worry about gas fees. Where more experienced trader will be thinking people won't want to sell as easy. People hold on to stuff more than Ethereum's. I think it's more of a prestigious. I think it will say we're in an immature market at the minute. I still think we've got a lot of room to mature. I think regulation will be good for the space for NFTs. I know a lot of people say, oh, we want to keep it decentralized. I'm all up for decentralization. I love it. But I think in the real world, I think regulation will help us, especially with rug projects and things like that. I think if we get regulation, I think a lot of people will start not rugging, which will be good for the space, and then more confidence. But I don't think if everyone's saying Ethereum's dead, I don't think that. I think we're having a transition phase at the minute. And I'm, like I said at the start, I'm a heavy believer of GameFi. I really believe that one of the biggest things that NFTs will be used for will be gamification. Now you can see that with different other projects, like a kid called Beast, Raspy, he's now delving into the gaming world. Who else is doing game? Whoopsie Dupsies, they're doing gamification. I've just had I was on a call last week with Cyrus from Supreme Kong. They're looking at going into gamification. So you see a lot of founders now clicking, thinking, hold on a minute, I'm going to have to find something rather than just raffles and trading because it's not sustainable. I need to find a tangible product. Hence why I wanted to get the RugDollz world built for us. So we've already sort of got a step in the door sort of thing. I think that's going to be a big part of NFTs is going to be, is like say gamification. And then eventually, I think profile pictures will, but because the space is so diluted, anyone can have a profile picture from any project now. It's not really like before, like when Bored Apes were really expensive and loads of different ones. Everyone was happy to have it. But nowadays,
Mhm.
no, people just have profile pictures of what they believe in. And because there's so many different variations, they can have lots of different profile pictures, if that makes sense. When you 2021, you used to go on X and go, wow, he's got a bored ape as he owns one of them. But now it's just the norm now, isn't it? Someone, if they've got a mutant ape, because they dropped so low, it's just, like I say, the dilution has taken effect and the transition phase. But it's quite interesting. I definitely think NFTs have not had the day. I think there's a lot of use case. I actually put on my X profile, I wrote a bit of a thread of different use cases. So I've pinned that up somewhere. But there's so much things that you can use for NFTs. It's not just gamification. I think that, like I say, for me, that's a big thing. But there's so many different things. It's just not, I don't understand why the world isn't using it already. Why don't they use it? It's so strange. I always use this as an example. Imagine Netflix. What's the biggest problem that Netflix have? People sharing the passwords, aren't they? Imagine if they added blockchain technology to Netflix and you had to connect a wallet and you had to have a Netflix NFT. You couldn't keep swapping that NFT to your family and friends. You'd have to, or your wallet. So that would solve their problem and make them millions. There's so much use case that bigger companies can and they probably will start using soon. And when they do, we'll all be ready because we'll already be the pioneers.
Definitely, definitely. And yeah, I do completely agree with you that there are a lot of use cases but obviously I think the issue is that there's some stigma, like obviously because all of us experience and what your whole project is based off of is people got scammed during the bull market, they got rugged and everything. So that's why there's that stigma with NFTs. Like you mentioned, there's cycles to it. So once we have some very big catalyst for the market and people start trusting in NFTs again, then hopefully all these big companies, like you mentioned, Netflix and all that, they start actually looking at NFTs and using the actual use cases like ownership, provenance, and all those things. So that's fantastic. And it's great to see that you are not only extremely knowledgeable about your project and everything you guys are doing, but also about the general market and how people can take the benefits of NFTs. And that's great. That's great.
We're still a baby at the end of the day because
Definitely.
how long NFT's been out from? 2019, possibly maybe a little bit earlier. Is what,
Yeah.
5 years? 5 years is nothing in the grand scheme of things in technology. What was it? Windows 2020, wasn't it? It's
Mhm.
5 years is nothing. We've got a lot of growth to go, I think. And imagine what NFTs will be like in 5 years' time from now. I think they will be used quite a lot as we gain more members and people of the mainstream, as they say.
Yeah, yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. And yeah, and I do see the market really maturing and people getting smarter about what they're buying and actually looking into the projects more, which is great. Less scams and less rugs, and that's a great thing. It's always nice to hear that. Yeah. So then obviously regarding the next question was regarding trends that excite you the most and then how you see the future of NFTs evolving. Obviously, you mentioned things like gamification. And then also these multiple use cases that you've also made a thread on your Twitter. If there are any other details you'd want to give about those things, about what specific trends you think will be really big for NFTs with your from your own perspective and everything you've learned about NFTs.
Yeah. No, like I say, I'm still a big believer in gamification because, like I say, I used to be a big gamer. I even bunked off work quite a few times to game.
Yeah.
And MMORPGs were my favorite. Now, I used to spend hours and hours trying to get all these different skins and weapons and all these
Mhm.
different things. And then by the end of it, poof, they've gone because I'm bored of the game and that's it. And I've got all this hours that I've spent and the items are all on a hard drive, which I won't use again.
Mhm.
NFTs, I think NFTs got big use in solving this because, like you say, you can keep them game items in your wallet. Get bored of the game, just sell them on, get your money back. So I think a lot of people will start using that soon.
Mhm.
Uh, I say on the thread you mentioned, there's a lot of different things you could use them for. House deeds, you can use it for fractionalization, so people can fractionalize things using NFTs. So if you've got like a house you want to split 4 ways, you can do it with NFTs. You can memberships, logbooks for your cars. That I say it's basically a data. All blockchain is a database, but it's just how
Yeah.
it's used. It's just how the technology and the smart contracts have then allowed access to this database and how to manipulate it and make it to your business. So there's a lot of ways to use it. You can use it in medical. You can do everything. Literally, you can apply it to everyday item that you can think of, and it just makes everything a lot faster and a lot easier to use.
Fantastic.
But like I say, I'm 100% gamification. I love it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and that's incredible that to see that you believe in gamification, you see it as a trend and the evolution of NFTs. And not only are you talking about it, but you're actually implementing it into your project with the game you guys are developing, the metaverse and the RugDollz world and everything. So that's great. You're actually taking action.
Just some quick figures. I actually Googled this last week. The
Mhm.
NFT industry at the height of 2021 was worth 40 billion. Okay.
Wow.
Today's figures is about 3 to 5 billion it's worth total market cap. The
Mhm.
gaming industry is worth 280 billion at the minute. So you can just see if we're worth 5 billion NFTs
Yeah.
and gaming's 280, there's a massive place to cross over there where
Mhm.
eventually Web2 players will start playing it, because what the trick is, Ritter, is you need to disguise your Web3 game as a Web2 game.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
just go, oh guys, look at this. You got to basically we've engineered our game to cater for both. So if someone who doesn't know anything about Web3, they can come in and they can play our game just with email and password and buy games from the in-game marketplace. But then they'll see players jumping around with all these different items going, and there's a chat system built in. They'll be asking, how do you get them? And that's how the crossover will happen. So a lot more games. I think you've seen Off the Grid. They do the same similar thing. They'll
Mhm.
then get basically they'll find ways to attract Web2 players to play it, the game, and then they'll then get involved in Web3, and then they'll see the benefits of it, and that's when the 280 billion then crosses over, hopefully, touch wood, to our spectrum.
Definitely.
So, but
Definitely.
that's definitely the trick, is you can't. The good thing of that as well, you can market to Web2. You can market to Web2 people, and you can also market to Web3 rather than just going to Web3 people, because you limit your audience. You want it to
Mhm.
advertise for everyone.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And actually, I had an interview with the founder of Frankie's Dinner. So his name was
Oh
Ford,
yeah.
and yeah, and they're actually one of their main things is that they're creating a game called Frankie's Dinner, and he basically said the exact same thing you said, is that if you're focusing on gamification, then you have to focus on creating a fun game and making it simple. Web2 people can also join, and then you slowly introduce them. And again, you just give them a choice. If they don't want to come into Web3, then that's their choice. If they just want to play the game, then that's their choice. But obviously, some of them, some percentage of it will go towards your project, go
Transition.
towards Web3 and transition. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think you're perfectly on the nail that you don't have to force them. You just slowly and surely introduce them to Web3 and integrate
Yeah.
into your game in a seamless way. So that's
Yeah.
great.
See,
Yeah.
like you say, I could just go on I could go on my Facebook now with all
Yeah.
my friends who have got absolutely no idea what Web3 and NFTs are, and say, guys, I've got a game I've built, RugDollz
Mhm.
World. Do you want to play it? And they can actually come and play it. I don't have
Yeah.
to go. Anyone of my friends that are into Web3, come and play this game, which I'll probably attract 2 people. Where
Yeah.
if I
Exactly.
say to everyone, then they all can cut. I've got a better chance, a bigger chance than getting like 80% of my friends to come and play it. So
Mhm.
that's basically the logic. It's easy, simple.
100%, 100%. And
Yeah.
that's great. So yeah, let's thank you so much for giving your amazing perspective and all your thoughts about the general market. So let's shift a little bit back to your project. This is a question about your community. So does your community's opinion and or feedback, so if you guys, release something or make an announcement, so the feedback on does impact your vision and mission?
Yes, of course. Like I said, community are always your number one. That's the heart of any project, your community. If you've got no community, it's just me, Laura, and Marcus just chatting in a room. The community is basically the heart. So you have to involve them. I always say they're the fourth team member, as they say, and we're just the caretakers. We've in our Discord, we've actually got a channel called Suggestions, which we always say to everyone, go to suggest what you want. We've got a path which we're going to set in front of you in the form of a roadmap. If there's any
Mhm.
suggestions that you can add to it, we can take a look and talk about it. We've got 5 ambassadors now, RugDollz ambassadors, which help run and take suggestions from the community. So, like I say, there's a lot of community feedback which we use to grow the project. For one example, is when we first started our staking platforms, it was only the OG collection that was on the RLBZ staking platform. The community
Mhm.
said, "Can we have the 3D collection that you're minting? Can you add that?" So we said, yeah, no problem. What's the pros and cons? They went, well, the pros are you can mint out more. So we went, also, we added it to the staking platform because they asked for it. It's like the plushies that when we were designing them, we showed them all the prototypes. People were going, you can't have a zip here because if young children have it, they might come off in the mouth. So we removed the zip. He said the face was looking a bit scary. So we went
Mhm.
back to the designer. So they help us because we ask the questions all the time to the community. That's the beauty of Web3. If you've got a Web2 store, if you're in Web2, I'm just going to say the differences here. You're in Web2, you can with a clipboard. Hello, what do you think of this? But you haven't got people that are invested emotionally and financially into the product, where with a Web3 company you have, which makes it easier to manage. So we always ask the opinions and try to think of more examples. We've had, like I say, we've had quite a few with the plushies, the staking platforms, just loads of different things, really. The most recent one was we've got a few one-of-ones to give away. We asked, how do you guys want us to give it away? We want it to be fair. What's the fairest way we can give these away, rather than us going, right, guys, sweet competition, number 5, let's do it.
Yeah.
We want to give them away. We want the community to get involved. And at the end of the day, like you say, it's what NFTs are. And basically, each project it's basically a community space. Each project, isn't it? It's a place where you provide for people to have fun, get away, invest their money and time because they love doing it. Some people like going down the pub or the clubbing or whatever. Some people like going on horses. Some people like being in the digital space. And that's what we try to provide, a safe, importantly, a safe place and a place where people can have fun, just have basically a good time. So,
Wow. And yeah, that's such a great answer, that community is at the center of everything. And like you mentioned, they're like, without them, it's just you, Laura, and then you mentioned another team.
Marcus,
you, Marcus,
it can be
interacting with
difficult.
each other.
Like say, that's the beauty of Web3. That's one of the things that attracted me to this space and why I love it so much is I can literally go on the computer and speak to someone in America right now. I can go speak to someone in Germany, Australia. You don't just get just the UK where I'm from. It's just not just my area. It's the whole world that you can cater for. And I love that because I love as being a traveler, it's great because I love to hear stories of people's cultures and how they live and things and what their countries. And like I say, my favorite social room is the RugDollz social travel trait because people post their pictures of where they've been on holiday and where they live. So that's one of my personal things that I love myself. For traveling. That's why one of the reasons what drew me to the Web3 space is how it opens all the doors to the whole world rather than just UK.
Yeah. That's so great. And like you said so well, that it's different to the Web2 space, because in the Web3 space, they're actually the holders and the team, they're perfectly aligned. The holders will give you good suggestions and what they think is the best for the project, because obviously that'll help you guys expand your IP, bring out better products, and then obviously that will appreciate the assets that the holders hold. That's great that you guys take their suggestions into consideration and actually implement the things that they suggest. That's very nice to hear. So yeah, just to wrap up the interview, obviously throughout the interview we talked about many things. That you talked about all these different utilities, the way you guys reward your community and your mission and your vision. But if you could basically tell me like 3 bullet points, what would be within 3 bullet points, what would be the things that set your project apart?
Well, the first one, massive one, is you can stake your rugged NFTs. I think that's our niche in the market. There's only one project that I know that kind of offers the same utility, which is called Solana Heroes. Don't know if you've heard of them guys. I think you can stake. They don't have a system where you can actually identify your rugs. I think they stake generally. I think if I remember. But on the Ethereum side, we're the only people that do it. We're the only people that thought about the afterthought, the aftermath of what happens after a rug and how to basically give a utility back to that, which I think is a big utility in itself. Like you say, you can find a way to give value back to everyone because everyone's been rugged in the space, I would say. I would say everyone. I'd say 90%. Because I've met a few people. Biggest rug holders got 2,600 rugs. Bit of information for you. So they're number one rug king. Second bullet point, I would probably say what sets us apart. I'd probably say we probably give quite a lot away. But then again, I see a lot of other projects given away. So I think we've got a good I'll change that. I think we've got one of the best ecosystems that you'll find because it's all been, like I say, it's all been meticulously thought out and how it can cycle into each other. So basically, you're constantly getting rewarded. Like you say, you stake you stake your OGs, you earn your RLBZ. You earn your RLBZ, you stake it, you then dip into the pool, and in the pool, there's lots of RugDollz socials. You can claim one of them, then you stake that, and then you start earning rugs. And then you use them rugs to buy. So you're always winning with the ecosystem where a lot of other projects, ecosystems are just basically stick their own NFT and that's it. And then you get the token and then you earn it you enter the raffle. And then I think the third point is we've just got a fantastic team and ambassadors and community. I think that should be number one, really. But I can't do this on my own. If you're a founder, there's no way in hell that you could do any of this on your own. You need a team to help you. I say we've got Laura. She's from France, but she's like absolutely out this world. She's just on it. She's like, if you think of a computer being in a human form, we always joke she's AI because she's just on it and she remembers things that I can't even remember. We've got Marcus, who's been in the space. I actually was in a project with him before RugDollz was formed. It's actually in a project called Sherio, which is a trading card game project. And he was in that, but I think that I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to stipulate, but I was in that project with him and he's come with us and he's like the most helpful bloke ever. I've never known anyone to give away so much of his own stash in his wallet and onboarding so many people as Marcus. He's fantastic. He's not like a job or anything to him. It's like a passion for Marcus. He goes in and he's like, oh, what? I need to ask a question. He'll be straight in there. Oh, you need to do this and you need to do that. And he's not very good at, he's very unconfident on spaces, but he'll go and have a go, which I love. He'll come up with me and go, he'll talk with me. And even though he's unconfident, he'll have a go. And then we've got Kath. He's on, like in the community, he's always like keeping everyone chatting, engaged. So we've got a good mix of our team. So I'd say the third bullet point definitely deserves to our amazing RugDollz team. And then we've got the 5 ambassadors, which basically we took them on to help push the game because these are all gamers. So they were like put on game competitions. You've always got to keep a bit of activity going on in your server. If you've got a bit of a dead server, you want to try and keep it going because say new people come in to the server and they'll be like, if it's dead, they'll be like, oh, this is boring. So they'll just move on. You need to keep it active. So that's actually a question I could ask you actually. What do you prefer, X or Discord?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think
which way do you think it's going to head towards NFTs? Do you think people are going to keep on Discord, or do you think people are going to be heading towards more X interaction with their communities?
I think both have their own importance, and it's pretty hard to give a preference because obviously with X, it's great for onboarding new people and for you to show off the strength of your community through raids and all those things, and obviously people creating tweets and all that. But then Discord is a place for your holders and your core community to come chat every day, build relationships and stuff, because obviously on X, that's a bit harder to do. Obviously you can have groups and stuff, but Discord is a bit more organized, and obviously there you can create announcements and stuff. So I think both of them are very important and they have their own niches and stuff that they target. Yeah, it's in terms of preference, I think I would probably, it's best to prioritize your community and have a really thriving Discord and things like that. So yeah, I think if I would, personal preference, I would probably just prefer a little bit more of Discord. Yeah. But I think both of them are definitely very important.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they go hand in hand with each other, don't they?
Exactly.
You got to think of it. It's basically like a toolbox. As a founder, you've got a toolbox, and Discord is one of your tools, and X is one of your tools that you get out of your toolbox. You know, talking like a mechanic now from my like I say, all these things are different tools that you use to grow your project and build it.
Exactly.
But no, fantastic.
Amazing. Yeah. And thank you so much, Alex, for such an amazing interview. Before we end, it's a ritual now that I ask all the interviewees something exclusive for our listeners, for all those who've stuck throughout the interview till the end. If there's any exclusive alpha that you could drop for the listeners, something interesting that's coming up for RugDollz, or something that's related to your game, something that's exclusive, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I could say is we've got a new track coming out for our racing game, which is going to be released on the next build. So we've got weapons coming out on the game. So this is all exclusive alpha from what the next build is going to contain of our RugDollz game. Say the RugDollz, if you don't know what it is, RugDollz World Game is a library of NFT integrated games, which you can also use as a Web2 player. So you'll go into the game, you'll press start, and it'll bring up, select your game, shooter, racing, capture the treasure. So the next build, we'll be having capture the treasure mode, which you'll be able to play. It'll involve the new collection we're releasing called the Ruglins. They will be your sidekicks. So you'll be able to, basically the aim of the game is there's a castle in the middle of the map. You run to the castle. Everyone runs to the castle to grab the treasure. You've got to get it back to your base. Capture the flag. On the way, you'll be killing people. They'll be shooting you to try and steal the treasure off you. You'll have Ruglins, which will be your NFTs in your wallet, which you'll be able to summon to help you fight. That's coming out. Like I say, we've got a second track, coming out for the racing game, and we've also got weapons being added to that too. So, like I say, the best thing I can say, guys, is stake your rugged NFTs. Just make some money. If you haven't got rugs, get socials. Dark Horse, they're only $13 each at the minute. Play the game. If you're not a gamer, just get them anyway and sell them. Make money. We want you guys to make your money back from all the NFTs. That's why we built the RugDollz project, for you guys to get your money back and spend it where you enjoy, and hopefully not get rugged again. And if you, to alleviate that, buy RugDollz. You won't get rugged. You're fine.
Definitely, yeah. And yeah, we can definitely see that you guys are extremely dedicated and committed, and just the fact that you guys have been here for 2 years just shows, and it's concrete evidence that you guys are here for the long term, and you guys are just continuously growing. That's amazing to hear. And yeah,
might be one last little bit of alpha I can give you.
Definitely, yeah.
Next, we'll be branding to a business, a legitimate in real life business next year. So I'm just waiting for the next financial tax year until I submit the tax reports, and then we will be going to in the UK, it's called a limited business. So we'll be transitioning from an NFT project, hopefully, to an actual on paper legitimate business, because like I say, we're now dealing with in real life assets like plushies and merchandise. We can't hide that. We have to declare it. So we will be hopefully going into a RugDollz Limited, it'll be called.
Wow. And yeah, that's I think that's definitely huge alpha, that you guys are becoming a full-on company and a full-on business. And that's amazing to hear, that NFT projects, like you mentioned, you just started it off with your own funds and all that, and building your own community, and now you're 2 years later your own business. So that's fantastic, and that's so great to hear. I'm really glad that it turned out this way for you.
Just follow your dreams and your passion, and you'll get there.
Definitely.
Even if, like you say, you have setbacks, you will have setbacks. It's normal, but you will get there. You just have to ways to adapt and overcome. Like you say, we got rugged. We've been rugged for the metaverse. We've been rugged on our staking platform. We carried on finding ways to go and move forward. Just don't give up. I find a lot of being in the industry we are, well, not the industry, the sort of field we are with rugs. You find a lot of people let the founders, they let the stress get to them a little bit too much. It's a stressful thing. You've got to put a lot of sacrifice from your time and money and everything that goes along with it. You probably know yourself with KOINectIt. It's a lot of pressure that you put on, and if you're not experienced to it, people will crumble and they'll just go, "What? I'm off. I can't listen for me." You say, "Don't give up." That's all I can say. Any people who want to do their own project, you will get tough times, but the people out there that will help. No one's scared of. That's another beautiful thing of Web3. You can reach out to other founders. Say, reached out to founders. I'm not just done it all myself. I've reached out to people saying, like Zubik. I speak to Zubik quite a bit in the back end and say, "Have you heard of these guys? How would you do this? How would you do that?" And he answers me and he helps me out sometimes. And Raspy, he's helped as well. I've asked him a couple of times. If you're not sure of things, there's people out there that will help you. It's not like Web2 where you've got to manage everything yourself. Web3, not just community based, but everyone wants to build together.
Perfect. And yeah, I think that's an amazing closing remark, that to never give up, keep going, and things to create. There's a famous quote of Rome wasn't built in a day. To create something great, you have to keep at it. And the fact that Web3 is not closed off, it's not people doing things on their own. It's more about collaboration and building together. And obviously, like you mentioned, you reach out to founders. Even if you're not a founder, if you're just a holder or a community member building your own community, then you can just reach out to people like that and ask them for advice. That's fantastic. I think that's a perfect closing message for all the listeners. Yeah, and that should wrap up the interview. So thank you so much, Alex, for joining us today and dropping all this amazing knowledge and your wisdom and telling us all about your project RugDollz and all the fantastic things you guys are doing. And I'm sure the listeners definitely did have a great time. And to all the listeners and the KOINectors, this was Alex, the founder of RugDollz. Make sure to check RugDollz everywhere, from their Twitter to their Discord to their collection page on KOINectIt. And if you can, buy some NFTs, stake some NFTs, earn some of their tokens, get some rewards.
Hey everyone, your rugs.
Definitely, your rugs.
Your rugs.